Today we're going to focus on buyers, how to find buyers, how to contact buyers, how to create buyers, and how to compel those buyers to contact you, and then how to convert those buyers into clients and ultimately advocates of your business. Because there are buyers out there right now within a few miles of your office all over the country just waiting on the sideline, waiting idly by for someone to help them to buy property. You might laugh right now, but I'm going to convince you that I'm right. Let me start by saying I am confident we will pull out of this real estate nosedive any minute. I'd like everybody in the room to repeat after me. 2011 will be the best year so far of my real estate career, because it can't get any worse. How many people in the room would like to double their income this year? How many people would like to have income this year? How many people wonder what income is? Just checking. We have to stop sitting in the office waiting for the phone to ring. We have to do something different to try and bring buyers in. I'm going to explain what's happening in the marketplace, then we'll kind of use that to talk about how we're going to generate buyers out of it. Isn't it true that buyers and sellers are still not seeing eye to eye? Some buyers still believe they can offer half the list price. Some sellers still believe that their homes are unique and haven't depreciated because they've got a superior location or better construction or an extra bathroom or their drywall was screwed in instead of nailed in. Is that not true? And there are buyers sitting on the sideline. There are buyers that are waiting for prices to bottom out, but they want to own a home. There are buyers that are out there hoping for another tax credit. They're waiting for interest rates to go to zero. They're waiting for the government to give homes away for free. But they're out there. And the mortgage industry, of course, may have over-tightened just a little bit. And one of the other problems that's affecting us is gas prices. They continue to eat away at our disposable income. And then let's be honest. Some of our clients are just not very nice to us. Our business today is unpredictable. We spend a week driving buyers all over creation to both ends of the universe, buying them lunch, having their kids spill stuff all over the back of our car, and we don't know if they're going to buy or not. We have too many buyers that aren't qualified or they're not really motivated to buy. And we feel unhappy because we don't know if we're wasting our time, our energy, and our gas. The clients we work with can affect the way we ourselves feel and act. The way we interact with those closest to us, our moods, all that can be affected. If you're working with buyers that are well qualified, motivated to buy, and nice to you, that affects you in a positive way. To find these customers, you need to have an effective method of creating a steady stream of motivated and qualified buyers. Let me talk about the traditional buyer's business. Here's what you're doing. You get an ad call in the office or a sign call. You drop everything and you drive halfway across the state to show the house, only to find out that the buyer is probably not all that serious. You've trained these buyers, by the way, that you're going to drop everything and run out to meet them. So now they'll be calling you at 10 p.m. and on every weekend. You promise the buyers that you're going to email listings to them, and some of them will go right to the listing agent once they get your list. And some will buy from that listing agent, some will buy at an open house, and some are getting automatic emails from 10 other agents. What would your world be like if you could work only with qualified, motivated buyers that really wanted to work with you? How would that change the way you react to people? But Loren, if I could find qualified, motivated, ready-to-buy buyers, I'd be working with them instead of the people I've got in my car right now. And all buyers are mean, rude people who want to pay half the list price, and they probably aren't real buyers anyway. So you're only working with those buyers because there's no alternative, right? What if you could develop a lead generation system that produced multiple opportunities regularly so you could select which buyers were the best to work with at any given point in time? Would that help? And what if you could differentiate yourself from your competitors so clients would want to work with you and work on your schedule? Let me backtrack it for a minute. Why do we advertise? Do we really advertise to attract a buyer for that particular property? Does anybody ever actually buy the house they call on? Do we advertise just to appease home sellers? And how does that help our business? Or do we really advertise to get somebody to raise their hand and say, hey, I'm a buyer, I'm out in the marketplace, I want to buy something? We should be advertising only to identify someone thinking of buying now or in the near future. So why doesn't most advertising work? Here's an example of a typical ad that we're running in a real estate magazine, in a newspaper, or even online. 3-bedroom, 2-bath ranch for sale in a good school district. What does this ad really do? Who does this ad not attract? Well, it doesn't attract people who need at least 4 bedrooms. It doesn't attract people who need at least 2.5 baths. It doesn't attract people who want 2 stories instead of 1 story. And it doesn't attract people who want a different school district. It doesn't attract people who want a different size lot. So what this ad really does is it turns off more buyers than it turns on. Does that make sense? We're going to change the way you think about marketing and advertising houses to try and show you how we can increase the response we get from a property ad instead of decrease. Let me back up a little bit and talk about a couple of books. This is a book called U Squared. It's a little 30-something page book by a guy named Price Pritchett. It starts out a life or death struggle. I'm sitting in a quiet room at the Millcroft Inn, a peaceful little place hidden back among the pine trees, about an hour outside of Toronto. It's just past noon, late July, and I'm listening to the desperate sounds of a life or death struggle going on a few feet away. What he's talking about is a fly. He's sitting on his bed, and he's looking to the right where he sees a big window, and there's a fly repeatedly beating itself into a window trying to get out because it can see the sunlight on the other side. And to his left is an open door, and if the fly just turned around and went out the other door, he'd be free. But he can't see it because he's so focused on what's right in front of him, he can't see what's behind him. How many of you in the room have read the book, Who Moved My Cheese? It's a great book. It's something that everybody should read. Talks about, and I'm going to do this real briefly, 90 seconds for those of you who've seen it already. Talks about 4 little people or little mice or little rats that are in a maze. And every day they go to the same spot, and in the same spot there's a whole lot of cheese, and they have plenty to eat, and they're all happy. And every day that cheese pile dwindles a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more until one day it's all gone. And 2 of the little mice or little people stay there day after day after day, hoping and praying that the cheese will come back, that they'll actually get more food. And they starve to death. And the other 2 go out through the maze looking for something else, and they find an alternate source of cheese. What I want to ask you is, are you waiting for more cheese to come to you, or are you going to go out and find more? I also got a kick out of this book, kind of a follow-up. Every so many years a book comes along that contains a lot of words, and this is just such a book. Who cut the cheese? Thomas Edison was once interviewed by a reporter, and the reporter asked Tom if he was concerned that he just keeps failing over and over and over again. And Thomas Edison replied, "I don't fail. I just discover ways that don't work on my way to finding methods that do work." So what methods do work to attract buyers? We're going to spend some time today talking about how to attract buyers with compelling offers that don't limit the number of buyers that call you. We're going to attract buyers with information. We're going to talk a little bit about syndicating properties, offering properties for sale online. And then we're going to go into mortgage products and how mortgage products can be used very creatively to attract buyers to call you despite the properties that you happen to have in your personal inventory right now. And we'll close up with offering a unique service and offering unique service propositions. Then we'll talk a little bit about how to build a buyer business, how to compel buyers to call you as our first step, how to convert those buyers into loyal advocates of your business that will absolutely stick with you on your schedule and absolutely refer you more people, and then how to bulletproof that transaction. Does that sound good?